Hello and welcome. So today I will be showing how to make this really easy, simple mini mesh vest. I will link, or excuse me, I will put on the screen what it looks like and how I'm wearing it. It's really simple, very, very easy to do. And yeah, this is just a tie. You can of course create a chain, anything. I just added it. Really, it can be open like this. And yeah, it's very simple and easy to make. So let's get started. So just a few supplies we will need. Weight for yarn, or that's what I use. Acrylic. I know it's black, but you'll understand what I'm doing as I'm going. Pair of scissors, yarn needle, some stitch markers if needed. Have more on hand just in case. And for me, I'm using a J. So usually you will go for like an I. In this case, I'm going to go for a J because I want it to fit properly, and I want it not so tight. So that's what I use for this one particularly. I'm going to use this little basket with these hooks and this dowel rod, and I'll explain in just a minute what I'm about to do. So with all that being said, let's get started. So additionally, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to actually insert the dowel rod. I rolled this up myself, and I was going to do a center pull, but it did not roll pretty well for me. So here's my center, and this I wrote it around this tube. So I'm going to simply just insert that through, put that through the other side. Seem to have enough wiggle room on each side, and I'm going to pull from here. I could simply just slide this off of the tube and use that as well, but I'm just going to keep that simple. So let's get started into the pattern. So to start here, as you see, I made not just a chain. I did a foundation single crochet instead of just a regular chain. So that's why it looked a little thicker, and that's what I liked about this pattern. Instead of just doing a regular chain stitch, I wanted it to be a little thicker. So we're going to go ahead and start off with a foundation single crochet. Black is a little dark to see, so I will show you with this very bright yarn right here. So again, and after this is really simple. It's practically a one pattern repeat throughout the whole process. So you're going to do a chain 2. You're going to go into the first loop, the outside loop. I just go to the loop closest to my working yarn, and I pull up a loop. And from here, I create a single crochet. So from here, as you see, it creates this weird open kind of gap here, but here's the single crochet. So I go into the loop of that current single crochet here and do another single crochet with this back piece yarn right there. Okay, let me get closer so you can see. So here's the top of the single crochet. I'm going to go into this back part right here, and that loop there. Just go under, and your working yarn should be coming out of there. And then I pull up a loop. So now I have 2 loops on my hook. Then I'm going to do a single crochet. So as you see, here's technically our 1, 2, 3 single crochets. So this is just creating the foundation chain with a single crochet instead of just chaining, but you can also just chain. So again, I'm going to go ahead and go into the back loop and single crochet. And I'm going to just repeat that. If you find a better or more easier way to create a single crochet foundation chain, by all means, that would be more simple to use. I don't even know if I'm doing this correctly. I mean, really, but I'm going to just keep going with it. And you don't have to crochet so tight because you want to be able to get through it fairly easy. I'm a tight crocheter, so Sometimes my stitches are a bit harder to get into because I do crochet so tight. My tension is really tight. So okay, after this one, I'm gonna show you where we are at. And here we go. So as you see, you can see the single crochets forming. And then here is the chain. So if I flip it over, you can see the back side. And then you can see that front side. So it just creates a chain with the single crochet. So instead of doing a full chain and then going back down that chain to start your pattern again, this just kind of eliminates that, and you have a 2-in-1 pretty much. So you're going to continue doing that for, give me one moment. And I'm going to continue this in black. Anything that I feel like you won't be able to see, I will do it in this color yarn so you can get an idea of what I did. But I want this in black, so that's why I chose that. So for this size, I'm a size medium large. I went with, for my foundation chain here, I did 112. So you want to measure, and also have a measuring tape handy. You want to measure around your bust. So mine's is a crop vest. So you want to measure around like your waist area and or how far down you want it to go. Just make sure it's an even number, and you will want to try it once you get to the ending of how many you do. You'll want to try that and make sure that it fits completely around you, touching at least, because once you start to crochet, it will shrink, or it will seem like it shrinks down, and you don't want it to be too small. You at least want it to be able to close if that's what you want. If you want it open, it's fine like that as well, but that's what I did with this one here. So you want to make sure that this part right here fits around your waist or your bust or your midsection, wherever you may want it to fall, and with a comfortable ease of at least, I would say, about 4 stitches or so, because it will shrink down. So I did 112 here, and then yeah, you see what it looks like on me from there. So go ahead and finish your foundation chain, and when we come back, I'll explain the next step. Deciding to take the middle rod out, and I'm going to take my center and just stuff it into the yarn ball. All right. So just to let you guys know, a little tip: once you get to whatever number you feel comfortable with, 25, 10s, 20s, you can also mark that. So just in case you have to put this down and you may not understand where to count from, or how many stitches you may have done, you can mark every so often, every 10th, 20th. I'm marking every 50 stitches. So I know from here I have 50, and then I will just continue on from here. I'll be back after I'm done with 112. Okay, I am back, and I'm at 112. So I'm going to show you how to measure to make sure that you are measuring it to fit you as best as it can. So of course it stretches, so don't forget about that part. But what I did, give me one moment. So what I did was take my measuring tape. I know it's going to be upside down. And I measured. So it's about 32, but I want it to be a little more relaxed. So I would say about 34, and as you can see, it's like falling off of me a little bit. So I would say about 30, between 32 and 34. So let's say 33. One moment. So when I take my piece and measure it, comfortably, it sits at 30, a little past 30 inches. So of course, with the stretch, it can stretch all the way down to 38. So that's okay. So then when I go and take it and wrap it, as you can see, it overlaps. So you can go bigger. It's really loose, but once I put it on, it's going to stretch. So it's going to have a little opening, which I'm okay with. But if you want this to close up, maybe throw some buttons on it, then you will want to go a few more chains down, maybe another half of an inch or so. I would say add about 4 more chains on top of the extra ones that I told you already. So once I put my piece on, as you can see, this is where it sits after I measured. So of course I can pull this closed, and the top is definitely open. That will not close. Just know that. That is made to be, or I wanted it open as this. So that's what I wanted it to be. This is how I wanted that to look. So when I did say I had that piece of brown yarn, or you can make a chain, or you can put a button. It closes very comfortably. I still have some give. It's not too tight. I can still move and pretty comfortable. But that's just with the ends closing. It's not going up no further. This is open. But that's what I was going for. So then it gives it this little kind of cute little shape here. So yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go back into having my pink so you guys can see what this looks like. So from here, once you have your number of chains, the reason why is because, you know, this is a darker color. I'm going to do that in a minute. Once you have your number of chains, making sure that they are even, you want to, for me, I chained 3. Okay, and I did not include the foundation chain. I just chained 3 plainly, just like this. Here, once you turn your work, and so the way to tell with this, these are the top 2 V's. That's where your top is. This skinny part down here, that's where it's like the chain space. If you did it just a normal chain. So here are the top 2 V's. Once I do my chain 3, oh, this is my last one. Going with chain 3, and I turn my work. So as you can see, this may look like a V, but you want to make sure that you're doing the top V's. I don't know what kind of pattern it will make if you did these side V's, but it may be cute. Don't know, maybe try it. So you want to do a double crochet. You're going to wrap around, and then I'm going to insert under this V to go under both of my V's on this side. So this side here is not the V you want. It's a V you can try. So I went under. That's one loop under the second loop. Okay, top 2 V's here, here, here. Okay, and so again, not these, but the top ones. So what we want to do is we're going to actually skip this first one. So the last foundation single crochet you made, you're going to skip that. So I know I just showed you a demonstration, but we're going to skip this one. So we're going to go into the next one. Under those V's, pull up a loop and do a double crochet. So the reason why this first V is skipped is for the simple fact that you did a chain 3, or I did a chain 3, and I count 2 chains as the first double crochet, and then 1 chain as the chain space, which is this double crochet here. So once you're done with this first double crochet, you're going to chain 1, wrap your yarn, skip the next one, and go into the following. So you're going to skip every other chain. Excuse me, every other single crochet. Here, chain 1, a regular just mesh stitch, skip, go into the next, and you're going to do a double crochet, chain 1, wrap your yarn, skip into the next one. So here obviously I did not have an even number of chains, which is alright. But if this does happen to you and it was a miscount, it is not the end of the world. The only thing you have to do is, well, actually here coming up to the end, I did not miscount. Hey. So this is our first, well, really our second, aside from the initial chain 2 that we created. This is our first foundation single crochet chain, single crochet. So you're going to skip that one and go into this very loose looking stitch here. This is the first, which is kind of hard to get, and then this is the second here, which is really, really awkward. But do your best, even if you just have to go under 1, that's okay. So here's the V, and that's the last, and or technically the first foundation single crochet chain. And here you have it. Very simple. And from here, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to chain 3, turn your work, and do a double crochet on top of every double crochet. Okay? A double crochet on top of every single double crochet. So then that way you don't have to pay too much more attention to if you're skipping one. If you're not, it's just exactly on top of the next with that chain 1 in between those stitches. So double crochet, and of course my yarn gets tangled. Double crochet, chain 1, again double crochet. And so here is where it gets tricky. You do not want to forget about this space here. So this is a foundation chain. This is the skip stitch. So you want to go into the top of the chain 2, not the chain 3. Okay, that way your piece will look complete and it won't have a weird shape on the sides. It will have straight lines like here. So skip this first chain here. Let me go closer. You want to skip that one. Skip that. And you want to go into the second one. You can go under 1 loop. You can go under 2 loops. I like more of a solid stability, I would say. So I work my way in and I go under 2 loops. It's really not that big of a deal. That wasn't a good pull, but that's what I try to do for the most part. If I'm in a rush and this is for myself, then maybe I'll just stick to the one loop. At the end of the day, it's up to you. As you see, it's a bit of a struggle to find sometimes or to get, just because I am a tight crocheter. I have a very tight tension. There's that back chain. So once you find that, you do your double crochet, and there you go. And I'm going to do this one more time just so you can see how nice and neat the lines are, because this side does look a little off in the beginning, but it's okay. Okay. So for instance, let's say I forgot my chain 1 here. When I go into my double crochet, my next one, it's going to look like this. And then you're like, okay, I can't really tell, which is okay if you have gotten too far and you don't want to take it down. Just continue the pattern as normal once you come back across the row. But you can see it's an extra chain here. There's the double crochet space. There's the double crochet space. There's no gap in between there. And I'm going to leave that there just so I can show you, once you do that chain 1, the difference it makes in the look. So now you see that difference? It looks really close here. So you can't. Right, so here's where they're really close. You can tell now. It looks a little off, but it's all right. Just chain that 1 and then go into your next double crochet and continue your pattern. I promise, it's not the end of the world. I've messed up many times, and most times I take it down. But sometimes it's like, if this is for me, I don't mind. It's not that big of a deal. All right, so as you guys see, I just ran out of my yarn, so I'm just gonna leave that there. And here you go. So as you see, even with that mess up, it's not that bad. You can still continue to go. Don't beat yourself up. Don't lose faith. Don't lose, it's not that big of a deal. You can go ahead and keep going. At the end of the day, once it's a bunch of them and a lot of rows, you don't even notice it. I promise it's not that big of a deal. But if you have gone too far, or you have not gone far enough and you're like, nah, I don't like it. If you're like me, it's like, yeah, no, I don't feel that. Then you're going to go back in and just take it down. It's not that big of a deal. Okay. So here we go. And once this is here, this gets a nice border. It looks a little off in the beginning, but that's how all pieces look. So as you see here, this is what it gives. Have a nice rounded edge, which is what I like. Same here. And yeah, you just go and it gives a nice border. So with that being said, now is the good part. So we're going to repeat that pattern for as many rows as you need to until we're going to get to the armhole. So if you remember, here's where I showed this is a one piece. It's all done in one. It's no sewing separate pieces together. You have 2 sews to do, which is for your shoulders at the end, and that's it. So it's very, very simple. With this one, I'm actually going to probably put sleeves on it, so that will be fun. But here, I did this entire mesh pattern for a number of, let's see, until I got to my armhole to create, because this is a mini vest, so it does depend on how long you want this. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I only did 7, and you see where it fits on me. So that was good enough for me. And then I created my arm opening. Okay. So I will be back after the 7 rows because I want it to be the same size. And, sometimes things are different because different yarns, even though they're the same weight, they still come out differently for some reason. So it's not the end of the world. It's not that big of a deal. Just adjust accordingly. So for me, I did 4 inches, roughly 10 centimeters. So 4 inches of mesh pattern. So you can either go by inches or how many square, whatever you want to do. But I'm going to go 7 rows and roughly 4 inches before I get to my arm creating, and then we'll be back. Okay, I am now back finishing my 7th row. I just completed it, and here's what I have. So it is measuring about 30 inches long. So in my 8th row is where I start dividing for the arms. So I did take account of how many boxes or how many mesh stitches I have, and then I divided that in half. But really, what I truly did was just put it around myself and folded it, see what landed where. But this is basically a rough estimate or draft of what I did. I just folded it and kind of was like, okay, this is where it will be. So since I already did one, I know that from the edge, 1, 2, 3, 4, let me count from here so you can really see. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 mesh boxes. So in the 15th stitch is where I did my arm separation. That's about how many I wanted. That's how wide the back is, which is enough for me. And then of course, again, 15 from the other side. So in the 15th stitch is where I created this right here to make the arm opening. And I'll show you that once I get there. So go ahead and find your middle, your median, wherever you may want your vest to fall open. If you want it here, here, wherever you may want it to open up at. And then once we get to that space, we'll continue with the next part. I'm going to go 14 stitches, and when I get to the 15th stitch, I'll meet you back. Okay, so I'm done with my 14 stitches, and here is where I'm going to create my armhole opening. So as you see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So into the 15th stitch, and I still did my chain 1. I am just going to do one regular, give me one, I'm just going to do a regular double crochet. So I have 15 double crochets. So from here, I'm going to continue to do the same pattern and create this side, the front of the mesh vest, mini mesh vest. So I chain up my 3, and I continue the pattern just as normal. I go in, and I work all the way to the end, and then once I get to the end, turn around, or chain 1, or excuse me, chain 3, turn my work, and continue the mesh pattern. 27 rows. So with the 7 that I have here, I did an extra 20 rows. So in total, I did 27 for my vest. You can go up how long or short you may want it. And if this arm space is not enough for you, of course, you can just keep adding. This pattern is very simple and easily customized to whatever liking you may want. So from here, working on the front part of this vest, I'm going to finish out this row just so I can show you. Here's where this will lie. And you can clearly see that there's a difference in the yarn. I used the exact same hook and did the exact same pattern. And it looks like this one is shaping up at a different size. I'm hoping it's not, but I'm just rolling with it. It's not that big of a deal. So here we go. The first row done. Zoom in so you can see. Oh, too much. Okay, so the first row was done. This is the start of the next row. So this was row 8, which is where we stopped for the arm. And then we went back for row 9. So I'm going to continue going up until I have 20 rows, which in total I will have 27. And then I will meet you back once I get to my 27th row. And then we will move on to the next step. So, did you see? Okay, one thing I did forget to mention is when you go back on your rows. So since we did go into the 15th stitch here and we had to chain up 3, you want to make sure that you do not crochet 15 stitches, if that makes sense. So from here, this was my 15th stitch. So if you see the stitch is kind of just laying there, but it's nice because that's where I feel like it creates my arm. That stitch is just laying there. So I have from the next row up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 14 stitches. So I want to keep that 14 stitches. So, and this is for me. If you want to just keep rounding it to keep it 15, that may work as well. But I feel like it created more of that little shape arm part. But you know, crocheting is amazing. You can do this however you please. So I have my 1 because that chain does count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 stitches right now. And as you see, I messed up right here. So I'm going to go back and redo that. But since this is my 13th stitch, I'm going to go on top of this double crochet. And that's it. I'm not going to go into this chain that we made here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to continue. I'm going to chain my 3, turn my work, and then continue back down. So I have to go and fix this one because it bothers me. But I just wanted to explain how I did my arm part here to create this type of shape. And yeah. So you want to make sure you keep that 14 throughout your whole, or however many you have, you want to keep that throughout your whole front side that you're creating here. And I'll be back once I'm done with my 20 rows. Okay, I am back on my last 3 rows. I had to make some adjustments. I'll let you guys know in just a moment. So I'm into my 13th double crochet and into my chain 3, going into that chain 2 with my last double crochet. Okay, so I'm just chain 1 and let this be. So I finished my rows. So now this yarn is shaping up to be a lot smaller than what this vest is. And so I kind of realized that and I was like, oh, let me actually take some measurements. So which I'm not too worried about it. It is what it is. I'm still going to wear it. It doesn't really matter. Here, specifically, it measures 6 inches across. Now, on this one, it measures right under 6. So with a little bit of stretching, of course, it'll make it there. I'm not too worried about it, but it is a little smaller. Maybe one more mesh stitch. Let me see. Would have given me that, but it's fine. It's not that big of a deal for me. So also, in this one, measure 14 in length. Here, now it measures 14, actually a little over 14. So what I had to do was add 2 more rows because when I measured it at my 27th row, it was way down here. It's like a little over 13, and I don't want it that short. I did want it to come past my bust area, so I added 2 more rows. So I did 29 rows on this one, and it gave me a little over 14, which I'm perfectly fine with. So gave you all that just to let you know that it's not that big of a deal. Different yarn will yield different sizes, or it can. That's why you can check gauges, but to me, it's just not that serious. I don't mind the gauge. I just work with what I work with. I'm not that much of an expert, so I just go with the flow. So here it is, 29 rows, and now I'm going to start my other side. So I did my sides first in the vest, and then I went along and did the back. So of course that involves you reattaching your yarn. So I just take my scissors, and I also am going to leave this for sewing. So it doesn't matter if you leave it from the front or from the back side of the vest. It really is not that important. Just cut off enough yarn to leave to crochet in later. So here, it's pretty universal. It's not that big of a deal to choose which way you might want your vest to go from inside out. Like this is fine for me. Okay, so with that being said, you want to make sure that you start on your opposite side, to where when it's folding in, this is your inside. So it will have this curve. It will have this curve on the inside and not the outside of the cardigan. Excuse me, of the mini vest. So what I'm doing is flipping it over, and I'm going to start in my chain 2 space. In my second chain from my hook. As I said, I like to go under 2 stitches. It's not. I don't really mind how it looks at the end. Again, I am a tight crocheter, so sometimes it takes me to really work my hook into my stitches. So excuse that. Chain 1, I'm in my chain 2. So now I'm going to reattach my yarn. Here we go, 14 and 15. So once you're done with the 15 stitches, you're going to chain your 3, turn your work, and continue your pattern. So I will finish this up, and I will meet you back once I have my 29 rows. And one thing I do want to mention again, another tip, don't forget, after you go into that 15th stitch, or the one extra above how long or how wide you want your front panels to be, don't forget when you go back, you will have those 15 stitches. It's on that 3rd row or that row back of where you do not go into this last chain 3 stitch right here. This is the one you don't go back into. So if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I'm into my 15th double crochet here. So when I go back is where I will only count 14 stitches. Okay, I am back and I'm done with my 29th row. So let me chain 1. This is what it looks like so far. And so when I bring the sides in, that's how it's looking. Okay, so from here I'm going to cut my yarn. And since this is the inside, we're going to have to attach. So what I did was attach to the 15th stitch. To give it this like V shape here. Again, there's no wrong way with attaching your yarn. Just attach however you feel comfortable. So we start off with that chain 3. And from here, this one counts as your first double crochet. And then we're going to continue the pattern. So continue along the entire back until we reach the other side, and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back, and we're into this last stitch, which was the 15th stitch of the other side that we did. And so you want to make sure you go into that stitch with both. All right, and here you're just going to follow the same pattern. Going to chain 3, turn your work, and go into the same, do the same pattern. Do not skip a stitch. I will meet you back at the end of this row, and then we'll continue from there. Okay, I am back with my last stitch. And so you want to make sure that you go into the top of that chain 2, well, middle technically. And there you go. It's a little long. So you want to just keep continuing the pattern until you have the same amount of rows as you did for your front side. As you see, it's coming along. So I'll meet you back after my 29th row. Okay, so I'm now on my last stitch of my 29th row. Pull up loop, and here we are. So there's the back. And let me just show you what it's looking like. One moment. All right, so here's what it's looking like in the 3 pieces that we've made it. All right, just like that. So it's in the 3 pieces, and then the only thing you have to do, just fold over one side, fold over the other side, and voila, you have the vest. It's very simple. Since this is the inside of it, what we will do, because you have to sew the top down. So here, as I sewed, only thing I did was go in with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then like the chain space. So I only went in 9, and then the other side also. So I ended up having 28 stitches along the back. So that leaves me with a neckline of having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10-ish roughly. So if I count this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 with that side. So you have to just make sure it measures to how you like it and the neckline and how it looks for you. What I'm going to do, I can now remove these stitch markers. I'm done with those. Get my needle. And so I'm going to turn this over. Okay, so I'm going to sew it with the outside facing the inside facing each other. It's really reversible. There's no wrong way to really do this. But you can actually take a stitch marker just to hold it in place while you sew one side down and then sew the other side. But I'll show you how I do mine. So I left my tail because I didn't have to leave that much extra. I left my tail on the back end on this side because I will start from the outside sewing to the inside. So that's the way I'm going. Okay, so from here, from this chain 1, I'm going to pull that loop through. Make sure it's tight. And then you want to thread your needle. And so we're going to start from the end. So what I like to do, because I want to kind of create a loop, I'm going to go into that chain 2. So here's my double crochet. The next one is chain 3. So I'm going to go into the chain 2 and back into my original, or on the other side, the double crochet. And I don't pull tight in the beginning. So then I go into my chain 3 under both loops, and then in my chain 1 space, and go through. And I just matched them up according to how long or how much I want the collar in, the shoulder seamed in, and just keep going. Make sure you go under both stitches of the chain 1 in the chain 1 space, and they should also line up. So the first thing that's going to be a little off is going to be the beginning, but as you go on, they should match. So every chain 1 should be a chain 1 on the other side. Every double crochet should be a double crochet on the other side as you're sewing them together. Pretty much, this is it. This is all done. It's simple. It's very fast to do. You can have this done in a matter of a few hours, and that's it. It's one piece, very easy, very simple, and it's done. So one thing I will say is if you are looking to add sleeves to this, that's what I would be doing to this one here. I will drop a part 2 just for this vest. This is just what this is for the vest. But if you are interested in adding sleeves, be on the lookout for the part 2. I'm probably going to put them up at the same time. So I'm going to work on the sleeves now. And yeah, that's it. There's the arms. Here's the inside. Really nice. Really easy. Very simple. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you do make this, I would love for you to tag me in it so I can see what it looks like. I hope it's a good pattern. I hope you're able to follow this. Yeah, and as always, guys, I hope you have a blessed day. I hope you have a wonderful time, and I hope this was easy enough. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and until next time.